Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying high into the Andes Mountains of South America to explore one of history's most fascinating and enigmatic empires, the Inca. In just a century, this remarkable civilization built the largest empire in the pre-Columbian Americas, a domain that stretched for thousands of miles along the continent's western coast. How did they achieve such a feat without writing, the wheel, or even iron tools? Let's find out. Our story begins around the 12th century in the Cusco Valley in modern-day Peru. According to legend, the sun god Inti sent his son, Manco Capac, and his daughter, Mama Oclo, to Earth. They emerged from Lake Titicaca with a golden staff. Their mission was to find fertile land, where the staff would sink into the ground, and there they would establish a great civilization. That spot was Cusco, the navel of the world, which became the sacred capital of the Inca Empire. For the first few centuries, the Inca were a small kingdom, one of many in the Andes. But things dramatically changed in the mid-15th century under the rule of a visionary leader named Pachacuti Inca Y. Apanqui. His name literally means he who remakes the world, and that's exactly what he did. Through brilliant military strategy and diplomacy, Pachacuti began a massive expansion. He and his successors, Tupac Inca Yupanqui and Huayna Capac, would extend the empire, known as Tawantinsuyu or the Four Regions, from modern-day Colombia down to Chile and Argentina. So, how did they manage such a vast and diverse territory, home to millions of people speaking different languages? The answer lies in their incredible talent for organization and engineering. The backbone of the empire was a monumental road network, the Chapac-One. This system spanned over 25,000 miles, rivaling the road system of the Roman Empire. It consisted of paved roads, rope suspension bridges over deep gorges, and stairways carved directly into mountain cliffs. This network wasn't for public travel, but was essential for moving armies, administrators, and goods, and for a relay system of messengers called chasqui. These runners could carry a message up to 150 miles in a single day, ensuring the Sapa Inca, or emperor, in Cusco was always informed. Inca society was structured like a pyramid. At the very top was the Sapa Inca, a divine ruler believed to be a direct descendant of the sun god, Inti. Below him were the nobility, administrators, and priests. The vast majority of the population were commoners, organized into family units called ailes. The ailu was the foundation of Inca life. Each ailu worked a piece of land collectively. A portion of their harvest went to the state and the religious establishment, while the rest was for their own sustenance. This system was part of a concept called mita, or mandatory public service. Instead of paying taxes with money which the Inca didn't use, every able-bodied man had to contribute labor to the state for a certain number of days each year. This labor built everything from the incredible roads and temples to the agricultural terraces that transformed steep mountainsides into productive farmland. These terraces, irrigated by complex canal systems, allowed them to grow crops like potatoes, maize, and quinoa. feeding a massive population. And speaking of building, let's talk about their architecture. The Inca were master stonemasons. Their buildings are famous for a technique where massive stones were cut so precisely that they fit together perfectly without any mortar. You couldn't even slip a knife blade between them. This made their structures incredibly resistant to earthquakes, which are common in the region. The best examples of this can be seen in Cuzco, at the fortress of Sacsayhuaman, and, of course, at the world-famous site of Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu, the lost city of the Incas, is a breathtaking citadel perched on a mountain ridge. It was likely built as a royal estate for the Emperor Pachacuti. Its purpose is still debated by historians. Was it a religious sanctuary, an astronomical observatory, or a private retreat? Whatever its function, it's a testament to their engineering genius, seamlessly blending architecture with the natural landscape. Religion was central to Inca life. They were polytheistic, worshipping a pantheon of gods representing natural forces. The most important was Inti, the sun god. But they also revered Viracocha, the creator god, and Pachamama, the earth mother. They believed in an afterlife and practiced ancestor worship, mummifying their dead rulers, who were treated as if they were still alive, consulted for advice, and paraded during festivals. The Inca calendar was filled with religious ceremonies and festivals tied to a sophisticated understanding of astronomy. Despite their lack of a traditional writing system, the Inca had a unique way of recording information: the quipu. A quipu was a complex assembly of knotted strings. The colors of the strings, the types of knots, and their positions all held meaning. While we know they were used for counting and keeping track of census data, tribute, and calendars, many scholars believe they may have also encoded stories and histories, a kind of three-dimensional language that we are still working to decipher. The Inca Empire, at its peak, was a marvel of administration and engineering. But its glorious reign was tragically short-lived. In the early 1530s, just as the empire reached its zenith, a devastating civil war broke out between two half-brothers, Huascar and Atahualpa, sons of the late Emperor Huayna Capac. The war tore the empire apart, weakening it at the worst possible moment. It was into this fractured empire that a small band of Spanish conquistadors, led by Francisco Pizarro, arrived in 1532. With fewer than 200 men, Pizarro used deception, superior weaponry like steel armor and firearms, and the devastating impact of European diseases, like smallpox, to which the native population had no immunity. Pizarro captured Atahualpa, who had just won the Civil War, and despite receiving a massive ransom of gold and silver, he executed the emperor. The capture and death of Atahualpa decapitated the empire. Without their divine leader, the centralized structure of the Inca state crumbled. Although pockets of resistance fought on for decades, the Spanish conquest was swift and brutal. The magnificent Inca Empire, built over a century of ingenuity and labor, was brought to its knees. Yet, the legacy of the Inca is far from gone. It lives on in the Quechua language, still spoken by millions in the Andes. It lives on in the traditions, music, and textiles of their descendants. It lives on in the terraced fields still farmed on a mountainside, in the sturdy stone walls that still stand in Cuzco, and in the enduring mystery and beauty of Machu Picchu, which continues to capture the imagination of the world. The Inca Empire is a powerful reminder of what a civilization can achieve, a story of incredible ascent and tragic fall, etched into the very stones of the Andes. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the amazing civilizations of the past, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring.